We started day 12. Oops. Game didn't start. There it goes. Oh, it says it's launching. Okay. All right, let's get back into this. All right, yesterday we learned how to make sigils. Which seems to feed into itself because it started producing more sigils. We just needed a starting point. Alright, so let's try this tier 23. Extra shrines, monster barrier. Monster level 77. I'm level 74. That seems very doable. It's not here. Bloodstone pedestals.
We got separated. My friends were cut down. I won't last on my own. Thank you, Wanderer. Without you, I'd be dead.
Huh? Oh, the bloodstone. 23 seems to be fine. Perfectly fine. 74 XP though. This is enough to get control of my chip up to level 5. Okay. Need 3 more dexterity. 1, 2, 3. Those are the only 3. Okay. So I take these 2. And then those. And then that. And then we go for a new board.
Oh, you again.
We got a new? We did. Ooh. That's good. We can upgrade that. Okay. Battle volley. No, battle bow of volatile shadows. Oh. Volatile shadows. Can it apply shadow imbuement even if I don't have points in shadow imbuement? Okay, branching volley's upgraded. Is there someplace I can put that now?
Don't dally. Hand it over. Don't be a stranger. Come back soon.
Doesn't look like this is an upgrade. Looks like this is the... We already have this. So if I went... 52, 51, 72%. It is an upgrade. Upgrades and aspect. Okay, so I can't really replace it without losing that upgrade. So we'll keep playing as this, and we'll try enhancing barrage later. +1 potion capacity. All right. Okay, so I need to be finding more of these areas to unlock these additional points, skill points. I've got everything for Fractured Peaks. That's good. Maybe we can go and finish Goss Glen, which is here, right? So we'd want to head in here. Oh, I got a little cocky there. Full of orbs. Let's turn in our orbs. Is there a place to turn in orbs here? There. Fidig. Let's try a bow.
Not a bad pull, that.
How about a crossbow? How about a tunic?
Hello, shining beauty.
There we go.
Well, there's hello, shining beauty. Oh, too bad, friend. Well, there's shame that. Go one more?
Here we go. This is an upgrade. Not an upgrade, but not bad. Okay.
All finished, are you? See some steel you need?
Complete a tier 46 nightmare dungeon. By the way, it's Sunday morning here in Taiwan, so I'm not sure how long this stream is going to go. I figured since I'm playing Diablo, I might as well stream it to some extent. But I'm also not feeling well. My neck is killing me from just a bad sleeping position last night. So, yeah, that might factor into when I decide to end the stream. But we'll see. If we start to make some progress and it seems like content worth sharing, I'll keep it going. Nope, I need to turn off the view. Also made some changes to my my display setup so that I can control it when you see the whole screen or not. Eventually I'll be incorporating that into the bit system so people can so viewers can control when the full view comes on or not. And I'll make sure the controls on that so that ability doesn't get abused. So, I can just, now that, you know, with the push of a pedal, I can control when you see my face. Now you don't see my face. Now you see my face again. And I'm like, I'm playing, I'm moving around. You don't see my face. Now you do see my face. It's trying to make it more effortless. That's the word. Look out! No, she's trying to fall. He's hard to keep alive.
We should get them.
There you go. I like the way that looks. Okay. There's something there.
I need more time.
Oh, it's a town. Under the Fat Goose Inn. That's something you'll remember. Something there. Something over here.
Don't have enough energy.
Okay. 56 of 70. There's still places to discover here. So I think all of these I need to... So all this is done. There's some stuff here.
I need more time.
Let's clear that.
I need more energy. I need more energy.
Okay. Looks like there's something else there.
I'm not ready yet.
Signs of a bloody struggle. What happened here?
This is the stronghold, right?
Don't have enough energy.
Here's the hunting lodge. Where are the hunters?
I love the sound that tree amp makes. Find the lodge's missing hunters. Slay the beast of Mordain. Five of us already. Where is this guy? missing? Slay the Beast of Morning. I have no idea where this thing is. There's clearly a path there. Is it broken? Am I supposed to go someplace else? They just broke their quest, right? Well, that's disappointing. What was that? So is it a broken trigger? Something just dropped in, but it flashed and then nothing happens. So, alright, Diablo 4 is still clearly broken in some ways. I'm not going to knock it too hard. I mean, it's very disappointing. You know, when you take this much time out of your way from leveling up and progression just so you can go knock this out, only to find that you wasted your time because they broke the quest. Or there's some bug in their code that prevents me from completing this quest in this particular instance. It's just, it's never a good feeling. Maybe leaving and coming back is enough to trigger it. No. If it was working, you would see like some sort of, like, unless there's a trigger, like an actual trigger. And I think I actually did trigger it. I saw somebody drop down. Not a monster, but a person. But he's not here now. fact that there's a path there also bugs me. But I don't know if that's meant to open once you clear the beast or what. See that right there. Oh well. God, that pisses me off though. I'm sitting around trying to complete the map. And if I can't do that stronghold, none of this fucking matters. Because I won't be able to get all the Skaz clan, no matter what else I do.
I know this may never reach you, but I couldn't live with myself if I didn't try. The drowned are closing in, and I fear I will never see you nor your mother again. Enclosed is an amulet, passed down from my father. Stay strong. You know that I am, and always will be, proud of you. No distance could ever change that. Take care of your mum. Duh.
Put those pieces to good use.
Heard the miller got our family a proper cabin after slipping the chieftain a few gold.
Built the town walls myself. Still holding strong as ever.
I think I see him over by the tents, near the center of town.
Who's asking? Apologies, Wanderer. Do you need something?
I believe this is yours.
What's this? A letter? This may never reach you. No. 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 Where did you get this? The drowned? Closing in? All this time, I've been ashamed of me, Father. I thought he abandoned us.
I'm so sorry.
And this... Wait. I've seen something like this before. An amulet imbued with druidic power. This is a relic. From when I was a child. When our people still practiced the old ways. But I fear... now I've not the ability to use it. Unless... Could you use it? Me father Wouldn't have wanted it collecting dust on a shelf.
Worry not. I will take care of it.
I wish Mum was here to see. Well, at least now her spirit can rest easy. Thank you, friend.
Yeah. So we're not going to waste any more time on the map rewards. It's a shame. I mean, maybe we can at least go for the skill points. Even if, Diablo is broken and you can't complete everything, you should at least be able to create, to still clear enough to get to the skill point tier. I've got 2 more left to go. So let's try that. It's hard to tell what belongs to what. Well, between Skoskland and Dry Steps. We'll start here. God, it still pisses me off. Okay. I should be scouting for more of the Lilith altars as well, though. Should I just pop out right away like that? Okay. There's a lot still to map out here. mapping out Fields of Hatred. But I guess it's got to get done.
What is this?
What are those blue things? Okay. I guess these aren't filled with hatred. Those are the... Huh? What? Yeah, I can fight. It's a spider that took over a human host. Yeah, I know you don't. Okay. So Sueda stays with me. I'll bring her later.
Yeah, yeah.
What time? What time?
I will say message later.
Okay.
I think she's busy. She will get home.
Okay. Okay. I just had a banana a little bit ago. Be safe. See you in a bit.
I'm low on energy.
And lag. Okay. Come on.
I'm not ready yet.
I thought I'd find a Lilith statue by now, but I guess not. 220 of 400. I don't know if I should be doing this at all. I want those skill points though.
I'm not ready yet.
I am Nervalot, a scholar of history and religion. The Cathedral of Light seeks to heal Sanctuary's corruption, and I am working to assist them. This region was once overseen by the hand of the Zakarum, whom, I've gathered, were quite deft at rooting out corruption. I yearn to discover how exactly they guided those who strayed from the light. Thus far, my studies have led me here. I am currently following a thread to an abandoned marketplace nearby. Will you accompany me while I conduct my research? I have found multiple...
I have to accompany you. Accompany you where? Here? There. Where's my reward?
Just give me one moment. I've only read how to do this in books until now. Hopefully we can attune with the spirits in the area. Like so. There. Did it work?
Listen well. The man...
Please, my friend, don't trouble yourself. Helping us will only endanger you and your loved ones.
If the Zakarum want... Then you...
I'll meet...
Damn it, I have to go in a dungeon.
could have sworn I saw someone go in here.
Hurry, children.
We know you're.
If this is what.
Wait. For turning away. You leave me no.
Please. I understand now.
I think so. But more importantly, I now have the knowledge I sought. Thank you, Spirit, for showing us the truth.
I've seen your suffering at the hands of the Zakarum. The intolerance, the violence. I'm sorry your family couldn't be saved. But maybe others still can.
Thank you, both. I will take what I've learned here to the Cathedral of Light. I hope I'm not too late.
Okay, so not a dungeon, so that's good. And a trail marker. Only got up to 2 million. Up the coast where we watched our brave crusaders step forth to the western lands.
It's locked.
So did that complete the quest?
It's locked.
280 or 400? I don't know if that did it or not. Another quest there.
We start with one brick at a time. That is manned with meters. Blessed Mother, grace me with your power. Grant me the strength to continue to carry out your will. Welcome, traveler. Your day of glory is at hand. With your sacrifice, the rebuilding of this world can begin.
Five times. Now,
Collect stolen supplies from bandits in the Katama grasslands.
It's my sons. Or if
don't
you
worry.
It's a lot of supplies. good one.
The supplies. Bless you. We all pitched in and scrounged up a proper reward for you. It's yours.
The great axe of the Oxen tribe has gone missing from the forge, stolen by swift hands. It is an heirloom of Raykor, War Master of Change. Its edge claimed countless demons upon Ariat, yet showed no wear. Its craft matched its keeper. The Triune we've seen.
See this scar? A biter bit me, so I bit him back.
Olga is at it. An ancient entity. Olga.
Of course he did. Oh, and if he's in the middle of a sale, don't interrupt him.
Yes, good. Now go.
I'm sorry, Sorga, but I'm...
My boy. I.
missed it.
I can't just lie here.
Wonderful. If you would kill.
Still fight.
Ancestors help me. If you move an inch, I'll break your legs.
Mongrel flesh.
The outsider succeeded where
Don't be.
Search for the missing Crane tribe barbarians. So, bodies.
the dust. Don't sniff the dust yourself. Only Orkai has strength for its knowledge. Strength for
Are you shooting at my cat?
out of energy. Yes! Worthy dust! The secrets are here! I see the reach. So close. That's it! No, come see.
Show the ancient statue, keep the traditions. Oh, I got it. Plus 80 max hobles would be nice too, but I'm more interested in the skill points. Through time warm you endure. Before your colorful skin, I say yes, I keep our traditions.
Yes.
Oh, there you go.
Don't have enough energy. What ancestor cursed me with 3 workers fled in the night? Old low on energy.
Search for little Toya. Oh, was I supposed to interact with that? Collect Khazra bones.
I need more time.
Hope this helps.
I need to turn on the AC.
Did my father send you?
This?
I would thank you. Thank you. Bastard eaters. Carved my brother like a side of pork.
Oh, wow.
Light a candle for him and go to bed.
Win favor, my friend. Plenty worth keeping. Forge awaits your return.
Oh, gods.
I'm sorry. No, he's not dead. No.
No fast travel there, huh? There? There's gotta be a... There's gotta be another waypoint there.
You shouldn't be touching things like this. Do you even know what this is? Unbelievable.
Merci.
Time.
You stuffed it up for the last time. Where's our coin?
At the bottom of the accursed sea, ain't it?
If you're unlucky enough to wake up tomorrow, you best figure out how to make up the money to us.
Otherwise, mate, you're a dead man.
KR64, welcome to the stream. Good morning. $65, yeah. What do I have left? 310 points. Get her gifts for the infected. Didn't solve the problem. What problem are you having? So which version of the stick do you have? Is it the, what is it? Gladiator Next Evo or just the Next? flashing issues with mine. I'm using the Evo though. The only problems I've had between the sticks and Elite Dangerous is with the throttle itself. When I was playing Elden Ring in particular, I would have to disconnect the throttle in order for the Elite controller to work with Elite Dangerous. I don't know why. It's a very weird problem. But occasionally, when I would do that and then reconnect the throttle, it would lose all the keybinds for just the throttle. The left stick and the right stick remained fine, but I would have to remap all of the throttle's keybinds. I have flashed the sticks to the latest 1.7 version. I haven't checked for any firmwares since then. But yeah, I haven't had any sort of issues with the sticks themselves. I've bound them exactly one time and I've never had to bind them again.
Not in town.
So when you do I still have my BKB config? I do. Give me a second. Should I have some for you guys? McDonald's. Yeah, that sounds good. And we'll see you at 2. I have a spa day with my wife a little bit later, so I'm coordinating with her. All right, so Dark, I'm assuming, let me go and bring up my display again. So I'm assuming you, when you upgraded your, how do I show my chat again? One sec. There we go. All right, so once you updated your firmware, oh, if I minimize that, there we go. Okay, now I can see chat and I can see the window. So once you updated your firmware, you went into tools and you hit default, right? So basically, after you reconfigure anything with your controllers, you need to be going through this default tool. You shouldn't have to calibrate again, but you might have to at least go through default. And what that does is that kind of resets the internal memory on the controller itself, as well as any sort of modifiers. So you have the internal settings on the joystick, or on the, I should say, controller, on all the axes and the control itself, as far as what the tolerances are, what the dead zones are, what the sensitivities are. And then you have modifiers within the controller itself that can be assigned or attuned to specific applications. All of that can be affected by the firmware updates, so you kind of reset those as you go. If you've done that, and only the settings for the controller that were updated with the firmware were lost, right? Everything else is the same. The other controllers. Damn, I really don't know. So I'm assuming you uninstalled and reinstalled Elite Dangerous because you assumed that the sensitivities were inherent to the Elite Dangerous, but that still would have been reset when you used my keybinds. I don't adjust the sensitivity in Elite Dangerous, so that should have restored those to the defaults as well. Man, I really don't know. And what version of the firmware did you upgrade to? It was a firmware update, right? You updated the firmware and then it lost your sensitivity settings. Is there a newer version than 2.176? I'm assuming there is. That's the version that I got when they sent me these a few months ago. Either way, I really don't know how else. I don't have any other suggestions I can offer you. I'm sorry. But I do know, even if you took my bindings for the same controllers, you would still have to reassign some of those because VKB has to create virtual controllers for Elite Dangerous. Elite Dangerous has a limitation of like 32 inputs per device. And since these inputs on the controllers can go from technically 65 to 98 inputs, it has to divide these up into virtual controllers. And those can be anything. It's not going to be one for one per system unless you copy over profiles. And I wouldn't suggest you copy my profile, especially if you're not using all the same pieces. But because of that, you would still probably have to rebind some of the keybinds from my profiles, from my ED keybinds files.
Herbs for the pain, she says.
You're creating a mess over there, me. Two dot 185. Have you tried downgrading back to the old version and seeing if the problem is still there?
What is this?
No.
Don't.
I mean, that's an option. I don't make the suggestion lightly because there are risks to playing with the firmware too much, especially when a firmware upgrade doesn't have the desired result. Changing the firmware again without some preparation could just make the problem worse. But if you've tried everything else, that would be my next suggestion. Would be, I mean, that would be what I would do next, is to downgrade back to the old firmware and see if that alleviates the issue, and then kind of watch the forums, watch other people's reaction to the new firmware update to see if it's a systemic issue with the new firmware, or if it seems to be something unique to you. I mean, the VKB products are pretty pretty rugged, so you should be able to downgrade without a lot of problems, but I've only had mine a few months, so I can't say for sure that that's always going to be the case. Oh, I meant to talk to that guy, didn't I?
What is it now? You know this. It begins with the scratch.
So I take it you've got the keybinds all assigned again, but you say it's less responsive.
Need more time.
And it's specific to one stick. Yeah, I don't know. I wish I had more to offer you. I'm sorry. So it feels like a big dead zone, and you're not able to adjust that in the maybe you do need to recalibrate it in the config software. Yeah, normally you don't have to calibrate again. I closed it, didn't I? Let me see if I can bring it up real quick. So, in the VKB software, if you go to test for the right controller and you go to axes, you're seeing proper midpoint and proper response there. Do you see the same latency? Do you see the same lag and catch up when you look at it in the config application? Oh, is that on the screen? Can you not see my screen? I'm sorry. Okay, so in the config file, you go to the right stick and you go to the test tab and you go to axes. You should be able to test and see the response of the stick here when you go through each of the motions. Is it showing the same behavior here, or does this not match what you're seeing in the game? Because that will at least tell you if it's the stick or the firmware at all, or if it's the software. close am I to the next? Oh, I'm very close. Okay. So when you upgrade the firmware on your controller, do you do it from this application or do you do it from the bootloader application? Okay. So once you're done with your update, regardless of action tools or settings, you can go down here to test. Actually, yeah, you would go to tools. But yeah, you would go down here to test and axes 1. So you would probably be on global or profile after your firmware update. You would just go to test and go to axes. And this would show you your current calibration for your stick. You would want to make sure that your right stick or whichever stick you're having the problem with is selected up here at the top as well. So once you're there, you would see basically what looks like this. The only difference is that axis Z is manual. It doesn't return to 0, so it stays wherever you're going to leave it at on the base. But the rest of these should be dead center until you move them. So if you move the stick left and right, that's going to be your x-axis. If you move the stick up and down, that's going to be the y-axis. Are they showing the same behavior as what you're seeing in the game? So does the dead zone seem to be very slow and then compensate later like what you described? Or is the movement fluid and normal like what you would expect for the stick?
The forge is ready. Whatever you need. Come back if you need the forge.
Z-axis is all the way right stationary. That's fine. That just means that your middle dial on the bottom on the base of the joystick is set all the way down to the bottom position. If you pull that up to the middle or to the top, it should move accordingly. That one is manual. That one is part of the base. It's not part of the stick itself. But the other ones, they should all be in the middle. And rotation. Yeah, you're not going to see movement from rotation X and Y. But you should see rotation Z when you twist the stick, depending on how you have your stick configured physically. Okay. So it sounds like the dead zone issue is specific to Elite Dangerous. Something inside the binds. And when you went to the binds, did you have to select the custom preset, or was it already selected when you went back in there? Because the alternative is take the file that I gave you, rename it to something. You'd have to rename it to something unique. And you would have to edit it. Open with text editor. It wants me to authorize a new app. Can't I open it with my own? Yeah, one sec. I have to be careful how much of my desktop I share. I don't know what people can use to either find out more information about me than I want them to find or what. Okay, if you did a total reconfiguration, then you're using a new custom bind. Now, you still probably want to do this. So you still probably want to go in and make a copy of your custom 4.1 binds. You probably want to make a copy of that and save it as like my binds. Oh, don't worry about it. And then in here, like you would want to just give it a new preset name. I named it VKB binds because it's specifically for the VKB configuration. But you can name it whatever you want, just away from that custom binds name. And then this will show up as another option in the game. And it'll never delete it. It'll never overwrite it with a new default custom for any reason, which that can happen with the other custom file. Okay, good. So you should have your own persistent version of the file. You should still back it up just to be safe, but that should at least keep this safe. So once whatever this issue is gets resolved, you shouldn't have to worry about it coming back again. But that's the only other thing I could do, and I, without stopping this and going into Elite Dangerous, I can't take it any further. But there should be guidance online about going into Elite Dangerous profile settings and adjusting the dead zones and sensitivity there. And if it is specific to the driver or to the profile that VKB is sending to Elite Dangerous, you should still be able to compensate within the Elite Dangerous settings to make it less notable, or to tune it to the way you like. And then once you do that, you shouldn't have to deal with it again until the next time there's a firmware update or something else changes in the VKB side. But yeah, I'm sorry you're going through that, but I really don't know what else you can do. It sounds like the hardware is working fine. It's just the way Elite Dangerous is reading it, and unfortunately that could be caused by a few different things. And give me 1 second, I need to turn on the AC. Okay, I have to take a couple minutes. My wife ordered food. I need to go down and pick it up. I'll bring it. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. There are a few things that are universal in the world, but one of them is McDonald's French fries. No matter where you go in the world, if they have McDonald's French fries, they're going to taste the same as they do anywhere else. And they're just as addictive. Okay. It's 11:25. We'll probably go another 30 minutes or so. And welcome back. Thank you. Yeah, we'll go another 30 minutes or so. We'll probably end the stream there around noon. I have a spa day planned with my wife a little bit later. I'm going to color my beard again. Don't ever get old, man.
First Carlo, now Leon. There's something out there killing us and no one will do anything.
Let's do another nightmare dungeon. Refresh that. We got a tier 24, tier 24. All right, we're going to do tier 24. We did tier 23 last time. Okay, we can get there from the Tree of Life. Tree of Whispers, sorry. Tree of Life, that's a different game.
Need more time.
There we go.
What?
Yeah. That's not a typical typical thing for me as a Westerner from Texas of all places. Guys don't do a lot of spa days in Texas, but apparently that is a rather normal thing here for Taiwanese men, and so I'm starting to get used to it. I don't do it as often as she does. For me, it's like more like a once every couple months thing. But basically, she has a spa day almost every weekend. That I agree with. And honestly, we don't know better. So I was doing everything I was taught to do when I lived in Texas. Everything they told me I needed to do every day. I did it thinking that that was all you needed to do. But really, yeah, I don't know where the breakdown is or why it's different. But the things we do, the things that we consider healthy living, hygienic, and maybe it's just a regional thing for me from being from Texas, but I've lived in California and Hawaii as well, and it's mostly the same. There's some differences that are environment based, but nothing that contradicts anything you learn anywhere else in the US. Let me put it that way. So the thought that we were doing anything wrong didn't cross my mind until I got here and people saw my behavior and they told me, why are you doing that? You know, you're not supposed to eat after 9 p.m. or... That was the first one that I learned. Ooh, that one had 2 stars on it. Eating after 9 p.m. is a huge cost on the quality of your sleep. Sleep quality is very important here throughout Asia. And if you're sleeping the right way, you can sleep as little as 4 hours a day and still get, 100% out of your sleep. But if you're doing it the wrong way, it doesn't matter if you're sleeping 6 hours, 8 hours, 12 hours, you're still going to be exhausted when you wake up because you just didn't make the right choices before you went to bed. So that was one of the first things I learned. And since then, my sleep has become exponentially better from the things I learned here. I can never go back to the same toilet behavior that I had before I moved here. And it's not universal here, but here you have access to the Japanese toilet, the one that works with you, works for you. Yeah, it's really hard to talk about it without feeling like I'm sharing too much information, but basically this is the thing that's got the water jet on it, and it has settings depending on if you're a man or a woman. And I swear I've never felt more clean than when I used a Japanese toilet. So much so that when we visited the US this year, I was uncomfortable every time I had to go to the bathroom. I felt like I wasn't clean anymore. It was like I wanted to take a shower just to make up for the lack of the Japanese toilet. So if and when we do decide to move back to the U.S., that's one of the main deal breakers, is if we can get a hold of a Japanese toilet to bring back with us. Oh, I love Arsenal. Look at those shots. Ancestral unique ring. These guys have a lot of health. Let's use all our field features. But yeah, washing my hair is one of the things I had to learn. So I was the kind of guy, I would wash. So first of all, I would shower in the morning. I didn't shower at night. In Texas, showering in the morning, that's one of the things we do to wake up. Again, that's because of the lack of sleep quality. We need help waking up. And so one of those crutches was taking a shower in the morning. But that has its own problems. If you're not showering at night, especially here in Asia, especially this close to China, or any sort of rain system that brings the air quality over from China to your region, you need to be mindful of what is getting put on your skin throughout the day. And one of the first things you want to do when you get home, after, especially if it's been raining or anything like that, is to take a shower. You take a shower to cool down because AC here is different as well. But you also take a shower to kind of free yourself of whatever sort of bad actors have come in contact with you that day. And you want to do that before you start to relax, you start to unwind, before you start to get comfortable. Because otherwise, whatever you have on your body is going to transfer to the places where you like to rest, including your bed. And those will impact your health over the long term. And especially when it comes to like your hair and your skin quality, those can have long-term effects that are hard to correct if you don't correct them right away. So you always shower in the evenings, usually right after you are home for the day. And showering in the morning, that's just not really a thing most Asians do. But aside from that, washing your hair. I would wash my hair every time I took a shower, basically. That was just what I learned, the way I learned. And it didn't even dawn on me that there could be negative ramifications for washing your hair every day. But the longer your hair gets, the more mindful you have to be of how you're maintaining your hair, because it takes a long time for long hair to dry, and if you're not taking the proper steps to manage all that, then if your hair is too wet too long, it starts to grow negative traits from all that dampness, all that extra moisture. You start to retain oils, you start to produce your own oils, and all this other stuff that I didn't know I was doing. I used to have very long hair. I'm half Hawaiian, half Cherokee, and so long hair has always been part of my culture. And so for the majority of my life, except for maybe the last 10 years, I had long hair down to nearly my ass. It was only when I started traveling for my work that I considered cutting it, especially for some of the more Middle Eastern places that I was visiting, that I started getting used to short hair. But aside from that, I'd already had all these kind of negative traits built up from having long hair for so long. Having short hair helped to alleviate some of them, but since I moved to Taiwan and I started getting settled in, I started growing my hair out again. Not all of it, like I keep the sides short, but I've kind of adopted this Asian top knot style. And so, when I'm out and about or in public, the people see the public face of me, which has the top knot or the hair tied up in back. But when I'm home, you let your hair down, and that's when your friends and family see your casual side. It's interesting how those sort of things affect your relationships and the way you present yourself to people you regard higher than just like a coworker or an acquaintance. I'll put it that way. So stuff like that is very important, and maintaining yourself. People are tuned to respond to that as well. So they see if you're taking care of yourself or you're showing them the best version of you, then that shows them that they're important enough for you to care about how they see you. So I say all that to say that I'm not supposed to wash my hair every time I take a shower or every time or every day. It's actually something you do once or twice a week, depending on how much hair you have. And I've had to learn to do that. So that's one of the things that, you know, these spa days do is like my up until like a few months ago, my wife and my daughter, they never washed their own hair. They would go to the hair salon a couple of times a week. They'd have the spa day every weekend, and then they'd go once during the week after school or after work, and they would wash their hair for them so that it was done professionally and properly and without a lot of fuss. And it's faster. If you do it yourself and you do it properly, you're spending a couple of hours going through the process. Not a couple hours, but it's like an hour and a half if you do it right every time. Man, I kind of went through that whole nightmare dungeon without really thinking about it. That was great. Talking about Asian hygiene. Yeah. I mean, I've got a captive audience. You guys really don't have a choice in the matter, so it is what it is. But yeah, it's kind of interesting. I just, you know, love stuff like that. So yeah, I learned a lot about different cultures and their version of hygiene. Another thing is like using solid soap versus liquid soap. Now that I know the things I know, I could never go back to using like a bar of soap again. Especially, well, even if it's just you by yourself, over time, especially if it's just you, there's only one person using that soap. Over time, that soap is still going to grow cultures from you, no matter how clean you keep yourself. Something's going to get on your body, and that's going to get onto the bar of soap, and that'll grow into something that you'll be basically putting on your body every time you shower after a time. And the more people sharing the bar of soap, the faster that's going to happen. So the best solution, the best alternative is to use body wash and make sure that you're keeping a clean sponge or loofah or whatever you're using to apply the body wash. So as a practice, we sterilize all our sponges every month or so, and we replace them regardless of their condition, like every 6 months. And we never use bars of soap. We just use body wash. And you don't scrub your legs. You scrub your front, your shoulders, and your back, and then you let the cast off wash down the rest of your back and the rest of your legs. You don't actually have to scrub your legs. And there's a mentality behind that, but I don't quite understand it. I didn't really learn the full reasons why on that, so I can't tell you exactly why. I just know that's a thing. It seems counterintuitive not to wash your legs when you wash the rest of your body, but yeah, there's a logic to it. I think because everything that you're putting up here is going to be going down and running down the rest of your body anyway. And so I know that they don't have you do anything on the front to compensate for your legs, but for the back, they do have you like concentrate on your shoulders, especially on the back of the shoulders, so that you have enough soap that's going to properly address the back before it gets the rest of your body. This thing's like a weird thing that I'm talking about in the middle of a game stream, but you know, my wife and I are talking about starting a kind of like not a travel log, but just a vlog channel that kind of extends some of the videos we've been doing for living in Taiwan, American living in Taiwan, and some of the other videos we made. And just like doing like a more day-to-day style vlog. Although, yeah, I don't know how much I'll be part of that day-to-day one, since most of my daily activity is just streaming and picking up my daughter from school. But she does a lot more, you know, out in the city during the week than I do. And on the weekends, we always have our family time. So we might be, you know, expanding our streaming to include stuff like that. And there is a lot of interest from people as far as like how to move to Taiwan, what it's like living in Taiwan, how to get some of the things that you need from your daily life elsewhere and bringing them here. Like I import Dr. Pepper. That's the one thing that I really didn't have easy access to here that I kind of needed. I used to drink Dr. Pepper every day. Since I've been losing weight, I've been cutting back on that. I don't drink Dr. Pepper every day like I used to, but I still have a source that imports it for me so that I have access to it whenever I need it. And they're actually starting to branch out. They're starting to sell more Dr. Pepper here in Taiwan. I think because they had a steady supply, thanks to me. But yeah, stuff like that, and you know, where to find sources for things that you don't normally find in Taiwan. So we have a butcher in Taipei that we use a couple of times a year to get us fresh turkey. You know, you're not going to find turkey on hardly any menu outside of maybe a seasonal Subway sandwich restaurant menu. Sometimes they have turkey, usually around, you know, Thanksgiving time. But that's pretty much the only place I've seen that has turkey. Actually, no, there's a barbecue place here run by an American. It's called Baba Kevin, or Father Kevin, is what you would translate it to. And he has a holiday turkey item on his menu around Thanksgiving as well. But that's it. So 2 restaurants in Taiwan where you might be able to find turkey. Otherwise, it's just not a thing. And, you know, we've got butchers around us that sell plenty of beef and pork and chicken. They've never carried turkey, and none of them carry turkey. But there is one place in Taipei that they import turkey a couple of times a year. So yeah, stuff like that, you know, we're learning to share and help people with, so that the idea of moving to Taiwan is not as distant as it used to be. Taiwan is a very, very progressive and welcoming place. I've never felt uncomfortable here. I mean, when I first moved to Taiwan, I went through a bit of a emotional toll, just because I wasn't doing it for me. I wasn't doing it just for me. I was doing it for my work. And I wasn't sure if this was the right thing at the time. That was before I met who would become my wife and start a family. So now there's no doubt that I did the right thing. But at the time, it was a huge ordeal for me. And for the first few weeks, I was a bit miserable. I went through phases. Half the time I was miserable, half the time I was optimistic, and there were, you know, little bouts of uncertainty in between where I just wasn't sure what I was supposed to feel. But I feel like if I had access to resources like what I know now, it would have been a lot easier, and the transition wouldn't have been so difficult for me. So we're hoping to kind of extend that to others. I know there's a couple of people right now that are either thinking about moving to Taiwan, or are one of them for sure is actually in the process of moving to Taiwan, and we're helping them through that process as well. Oh, it's already 11:50. If a core skill hits 4 or more enemies, 50% of the resource cost is refunded. Barrage. That's going to hit 4 or more enemies. We'll take that. What are we losing? We're losing 135 dexterity, but we're gaining 51 to all stats. We're losing 60% lightning resistance. I think I can make up for that elsewhere. And I can put the poison imbue and the marksman critical back on. And it's a resource adjustment. I'd lose the 6% increased damage, but I don't usually have, well, I don't always have maximum resource anyway, so. Well, yeah, we're just trying to find ways to make ourselves more informative and, you know, valuable to the people that are, you know, paying attention to us, you know. I kind of haphazardly had YouTube and Twitch before this year that I really didn't put a lot of effort into because I always had another job. Up until last year, I was, you know, a very prominent engineer, and that's what brought me to Taiwan. But they wanted to bring my job back to the U.S., and, you know, my family and I, we just weren't ready to leave Taiwan at the time. And so I made the decision not to follow my role back to the U.S., and there was no other role for me at the time to take on in my current company. So I chose to leave the company and look for work elsewhere. This is about the same time that, you know, tech companies were laying off people left and right. And although you saw that happening in places like the US, and other, you know, Western areas, you didn't see it as much here because they weren't as vocal about it. They weren't talking about it as much here, but it was still happening. And so I didn't notice how hard it was for someone like myself, who's, you know, a foreigner, to find engineering work here in Taiwan. Foreigners are much more expensive than locals when it comes to their salary and their compensation. Even foreigners with a permanent residency like I have, which does make it a lot easier, but there's still ramifications there for me being a foreigner as opposed to a local. And so after a year, I realized it's going to take, I don't know how long to find new work. Whereas before I was expecting, you know, before I would have been, you know, signed on and transferred over to a new company within just a few months. And so slowly I started moving over and doing more stuff like this and kind of reestablishing my streams and my YouTube channel. And honestly, I've only been doing this full time like a couple of months now. But the progress we've made, just kind of, you know, reestablishing some of the old habits and requiring some of the equipment we would need to get back in, and then building up the following. The following just kind of took off right away. You know, I still had some subscribers left over from my previous iterations of YouTube, but that got us half the way we needed to get. The rest have been steadily streaming in, and Twitch, we got to affiliate status on Twitch much sooner than I thought I would. So yeah, we've just been looking at ways to make this more viable so that, you know, I can go another year or so without a job and still keep my family comfortable. But after that, we're really going to need an income, or else we're just not going to be able to stay here. So, you know, we're trying to do what we can to build up value in this while I continue to look for other work. And if this takes off the way we'd like it to, or at least to a point where it can help sustain us, then we'll start putting more effort into this rather than looking for other work. And then, you know, I've got plenty of things I can do within the gaming, within tech, and within, you know, living abroad here in Taiwan that can cover several different channels worth of content if I wanted to. But yeah, we're being very cautious about it. We don't want to just like throw everything we have into doing this and then have it fail, or have too much riding on it to let it grow naturally so that there is a fail point. Whereas if we just let it grow without investing too much and without putting any expectation on the time, then over time this will become something that should be very helpful for us. So that's the hope. That's the plan right now. So yeah, finding ways to be useful and to share the things we know. That's how we're adding value to the things that we're doing online. Okay, I think I got another Mother's Gift reward.
Oh, you again.
Yes, me again. Yeah. And I am just barely on the way to 13. Let's go clear our inventory a bit. And what do we get? Ooh, nice dagger. I always like daggers. Daggers are good for my build. It's not a nice dagger. Oh well. And it's not even an upgrade. Like, it doesn't upgrade my aspect or anything. It's just gonna break down into mats. Upon taking damage from surrounding enemies, you drop a smoke grenade. Ooh, the boots. They have 2 maxed out. So max life and max cold resistance. You have 20% increased crowd control duration while enemies are unstoppable. So I'll probably change out that that effect. But the rest of these are really nice. I'll lose 89 dex, but +3 maximum evade charges. That's nice too. Yeah, I'm going to use those. Yeah, I'm not going to like getting rid of that ring, but I need to keep climbing. So a new unique gloves. Damaging enemies with a non-basic skill marks them for 3 seconds. When a basic skill first hits a marked enemy, the basic skill damage is echoed to all marked enemies, dealing 140% increased damage. So when I use my barrage, it'll mark everything that my barrage hits. Then when I use my puncture, anything that it hits will echo to all the other things 140%. Holy crap. Both of those are AoE damage, so every time your puncture hits something, it's echoing to everything, and your puncture is hitting up to 3 or 4 targets at a time. This could be quite devastating. Let me throw that on. We're going to keep these other uniques just in case those don't do what I want them to do, but damn, that's pretty sweet. And this is an upgrade for our basic skill rapid attack. So we'll take that and that. So break those down.
The forge is ready. I can break that down. Don't ruin all that work.
And throw that in. Okay, so we need to change the boots.
Have a look.
Explosive. Exploders is what's on them already. Days, vulnerable enemies. Lower cooldown. Okay, so I either want Manglers, Hectic, or Frostbitten. Oh, aspect of shared misery. Let's stick with that. That's had a pretty good impact for me so far. Freezing people with my stun grenade. Okay, so we got that working. We got our Dark Shroud going. We got our barrier. Got our Aerostorm and our other Aerostorm. Yeah. All right. That's good. I'm really looking forward to seeing what this does. Okay, it's actually noon now. Yeah, let's do one more Nightmare Dungeon, then we'll call it a night. Call it a day, I guess. Tier 25 or Tier 24? Yeah, we want this to be quick. Let's knock out the Tier 24. Where are we at? Glad I got that teleport today. Yeah, sometimes it's like that. Yeah, I'm not complaining at all. You know, it is what it is, and as long as you do things the right way, these things just kind of work themselves out anyway. There's no doubt in my mind I made the right decision not following my job back to the U.S. You know, when we went back to the U.S. to visit as a family, we were just absolutely in shock with how much more expensive things have become since I left. We're talking like triple the price to feed a family of 4, just, you know, going out to dinner. And at least double the cost just to bring home groceries and, you know, make things for yourself. You know, it's it's just a lot to process. Like I said, we will move back to the U.S. eventually. Yeah, the only things that are holding us back, are the kids and their school. Once the kids are through, at least through high school, which is another year for our son and about 3 years for our daughter, then our options become much broader. Ideally, the goal is to get to a point where we can kind of, stay in the U.S., half a year, and stay in Taiwan half a year, and have access to both our families that way. And so, with the kids in college or moving on to vocational work, I don't know how much of this is interesting to share, but those are the kind of things that we're thinking about as far as like what we want to do. But there's just so much more planning involved now than we realized. But just the difference, the changes to the economy since I left the U.S., which is something I never really considered before. I never really had to consider it because we weren't moving back right away. But yeah, there's no doubt that we made the right decision, that we're where we need to be. And like I said, we're still comfortable. It's not like we're hurting because of our decision. There is that little sense of uncertainty of what the future is for us until we know for sure, how much a part of our life this streaming and YouTube is going to be versus, anything else that might present itself in the next few months. But to be honest, we're feeling very, very good and very comfortable with how well we're doing with the streaming and with the YouTube, that we're willing to do what it takes to make sure that it has a fair shot to take off. Okay, Dark, thanks again for joining, and you have a good day. Should I still be calling you Dark, or should I be calling you KR? Travel to the vial chamber. We've already unlocked the vial chamber, it seems. So is this the end? the end. That was a quick one. Ooh, a max dagger. Oh, I should have probably... Well, I'm not using that one yet, so it doesn't matter. Alright. Minus 200. Plus 5% dexterity. That's not bad. Although I still like that unique effect. All right, how much progress does one? About 1,000 from one nightmare dungeon. Of course, that's tier 23. These things go up to like 150 or so. I don't remember. I think there's a way to find out. Oh, they just go up to 100. Is that true? They only go up to 100? Or is there something else you do to get above that? Alright, we got a new one. The Mariner's Refuge. Tier 25. And then we got another tier 25. I'm tempted to take one of these, but I think for now I'm going to hold off. Yeah, we're going to hold off. I'm going to end the stream there. Thanks everybody for watching. Really appreciate you following along and being a part of the stream. Be sure to like, subscribe, and follow whichever platform you're watching us on. And until next time, you guys be safe.